مش عارفين يعني صفتك مين يعني كنا مكيفين وبعدين شفنا منظرك.
We are here now with Bashar Murad, the Palestinian songwriter and singer. Thank you so much for your time. First of all, can you tell us about you something and about where you grew up and where you're living?
So I'm Bashar. I'm a Palestinian pop artist, songwriter, and director. And I grew up in Jerusalem all my life. And I was born into a musical family. My dad founded a band in 1980 called Sabreen, which means patient ones, or still patient. And it was a very important Palestinian group, especially because it was one of the first alternative bands. And that experience had a huge impact on my life because I grew up surrounded by music and artists. And I was always at my father's studio, which is actually like 3 minutes away from here in Sheikh Jarrah. And then I went, after graduating from high school, I studied in America for 4 years, and then I moved back here and worked for 2 years and discovered that it's not. I worked at a desk job for 2 years. That was not for me, and after those 2 years, I was like, definitely this isn't for me, and that's when I started to pursue my music career.
Great. I already wanted to ask you how you decided to become a musician, but you already answered.
I mean, it was. I always knew I wanted to be an entertainer since I grew up, and since I was a baby. But I always thought living here, especially like under occupation, and not seeing a lot of people taking risks, and seeing how difficult also for my dad it has been to be in the music industry, especially here. I never thought that I could be an artist and that I could live off of music and stuff like that. But after living here and experiencing life and being behind a desk job, I wasn't feeling satisfied and full and complete and happy, and I figured out how short life is, and that's when I decided to just like go for it. And one of the first amazing opportunities for my music career was the Palestine Music Expo, PMX, which is an amazing showcase festival that happens in Ramallah. It's happening again this year in September, actually. And it was one of the first like catalysts to start my music career and get me a lot of opportunities and help me reach the international stage.
Cool. Great. What are the messages you want to convey to your fans through your songs?
I think there's a lot. Each song is very different. But I think at the core, they're all about creating a space that is free and that is open for everybody and that doesn't discriminate based on gender, religion, or background, or any other label. I just want to bring people together through my music, and each song really talks about a different struggle that I've had, or something that I've dealt with in my life, and I take it and make fun of it in a song, and it helps me deal with it and reflect on it and not take life so seriously.
Mm-hmm. But you have also some songs related to the occupation, like Intifada on the dance floor. What do you want to tell your friends about these songs?
So I do talk a lot about the occupation a lot, especially in my first EP that I released last year called Maskhara, which means mockery. or bullshit. I don't know if I can say that.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, so I talk about it from a different angle, and especially Intifada on the Dance Floor. It's kind of an absurd title for a song, and people might be like, "Why are you? What do those two things have to do together?" But for me, it was about a lot of things, and one of them is about how art is an important tool for resistance, and how a lot of the time people, especially here, will like put down art and say that we're not going to free Palestine with music or art. And to me, it was like me reassuring people that no, actually, art and music and culture are very important and are a very powerful tool for resistance and for again bringing people together, for um, telling the story of what's happening here, and yeah, and also it's about how if we go, you know, to if I go to a party, let's say in Ramallah, I'll be surrounded by all my friends from every part of Palestine, you know, except for Gaza because they cannot make it. But you know, on the dance floor, we forget who we are, where we come from, and we're all just united on this one space. And I just wanted to highlight the importance, you know, that we all, although we are fighting and we're resisting and we're all working together for a liberated Palestine. But we're also, you know, it's okay for us sometimes to escape and to dance and to
Of course.
release all this pain and this oppression that we're dealing with on a daily basis. And a lot of the time we do feel guilty for having fun. You know, like we always have to be fighting, we always have to be resisting. But, you know, if we don't take breaks, we will have burnout and we won't be able to continue.
Yeah, of course. Does the occupation affect you as a musician?
Of course.
Yeah. In which way?
How much time do you have?
As you want. You can talk as long as you want.
A lot of ways. I mean, first of all, like freedom of movement. If I want to work with artists from different parts of Palestine, it's very difficult because a lot of people from the West Bank cannot travel to Jerusalem, cannot travel to 1948 Palestine, to Haifa and stuff. So it's hard for me to collaborate with them most of the time. Also, I don't to go anywhere. I need a visa to travel, and it's very difficult. And also, you know, all my followers and my audience who do live in the West Bank or in Gaza can't come to see me, and I can't go see perform for the people in Gaza either. That's one thing. And then you have just in general, whenever you know, the idea that if I say I'm Palestinian, I have to be careful about what I say because, you know, Israel will always be watching, and you know, wherever I go to. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Maybe I can ask if you have it, you can continue. But speaking of like the specific songs, how would you describe like the change from singing English and Arabic? How is a different response when you do both?
Oh, so yes, I was used to sing in English.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I used to sing in English. I actually started just singing in English because, I mean, I like my high school was an American school, so we were learning everything in English except for Arabic. And then I went to college in America, and coming back, all my work was in English as well. So, you know, it's not something we're always proud of, but a lot of people who do attend these private schools end up being more eloquent in another language, like in English or in French or in German, and all this stuff. And so it was the easy way for me to express myself was in English.
Yeah.
But then after I moved here and like was out of the bubble of high school and I was just like actually living and naturally, I just started writing in Arabic all of a sudden because everything I was dealing with had to do with like my own community and my own society and stuff. And when I was singing in English, I didn't feel like anyone related to me here. Like some did, but when I did this Arabic transition, definitely I felt so much more connection with people because I was speaking the language. I was talking about things that they were going through,
Yeah.
and so I still like to sing in English, but now like most of the songs I write are in Arabic, and I am very proud of that. Because when I was like growing up, I never thought I was like I can't write in Arabic.
Okay.
I thought it was impossible because especially Arabic is a hard language to write in, and in Arabic it's very hard to make things sound not cheesy. You know what I mean? Like in English, you could get away with singing love songs and singing. I don't know. I feel like it sounds normal, but in Arabic, it just sounds so heavy.
Yeah.
So you have to like figure out a way to make it sound light and
The language is
fun.
way more emotional.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you have more questions? Otherwise, I would.
No, continue.
Okay. Yeah, it's my last question and a really important question.
Okay.
Do you have any advices for the people outside from Palestine how we can support the Palestinians?
Yes, definitely. I think it's very important to lift the voices of the people who are on the ground, who are locally on the ground. You know, including artists, activists, all the people who have something to say. It's so important to support those people because they are we're all fighting the fight, but the ones here are the most ones who are suffering from the occupation and also resisting it at the same time. And you know, it's all that's one way, but you also have to like find out what demonstrations are happening in your neighborhood. Contact your representatives, your politicians, and tell them what you think or why you think the occupation shouldn't go on and shouldn't go on in your name and in your taxes and all this stuff. And yeah, it's important not to forget the people here and not to forget that, you know, Palestine isn't just a post to share online or just a flag. That's not what it is. It's people. It's humans who are suffering every day, who are going through things every day. And, you know, it's important to remember that the humanity of these people and to never think that, oh, they're used to it or this is normal or this is life. That no, this is unfair, this is unjust, and that we should be fighting for justice even if we're thousands of miles away.
Thank you very, very, very much.